Bianca Barlow from InvestorStream. Let's delve deeper into the opportunities stemming from the palladium outlook. It is mostly extracted as a byproduct of mining other metals, and the largest producers are Russia and South Africa. Palladium is primarily used in automaking, with the metal forming a key component of fuel efficiency converters. The Russia-Ukraine conflict has seen the price of a number of commodities surge, and the price of palladium has been equally impacted, soaring to a high of around $3,000 per ounce in March, before resettling back to today's price of approximately $2,200 per ounce. Bridge Street capital analyst Dr. Chris Baker believes the palladium price is likely to remain elevated for some time due to a number of factors.
My view is that the market sentiment for the platinum group metals remains very positive, specifically demand for palladium and also for rhodium and other PGM has been particularly strong in the auto and chemical sectors. And as well, it seems to have been a supply deficit of both palladium and rhodium over the last couple of years. So this is really keeping the prices quite high. We deal with a number of experienced consultants, one in particular, a guy in South Africa I've known for many years, and he says that the prospect for higher PGM prices, platinum, palladium and rhodium, is more likely over the next 10 years than any time in history, mainly because the world is now focused on environmental issues. The air needs to be cleaned. There are still lots of internal combustion engines that need to be cleaned up, and that's happening in China, and it's soon to happen in India. So the use of auto-cats, as they call them, auto-catalysis in cars, will be very important, and this will be very dominant in many economies worldwide.
On the supply side, Russia accounts for 40% of the world's palladium, and prior to the invasion of Ukraine, there was already a shortage. The ongoing conflict will ensure that supply from this dominant market will remain constricted for some time. This is evident with the United Kingdom recently releasing a fresh package of sanctions on Russia, with the Department for International Trade confirming that new import tariffs will include palladium. These continued supply disruptions will lead to further increases in price. South Africa supplies a similar percentage of palladium as Russia to global markets, ensuring output from this country will become an increasing focus for investors as the price continues to rise.
It's worth noting that about 75% of the world's PGMs come from South Africa alone, but for palladium, there's a very significant source of supply from a very large mine in Russia called Norilsk. It's actually a nickel copper mine and produces mainly palladium as a byproduct. So that has problems. The sanctions are now have been turned up big time, and what's going to happen in Ukraine? I mean, it's a deeply tragic situation. But maybe the relationship between Russia and the West has been badly damaged and perhaps permanently damaged. And so these export sanctions are likely to only get worse. So we'd be thinking that the auto sector and the chemical sector, both of which are major users of palladium as a catalyst, must be having a very, very close look at all aspects of the value chain. And, particularly with regard to the use of Russian palladium.
On the demand side, palladium is a critical element in catalytic converters in cars, playing a key role in removing harmful gases from emissions. With these market conditions of ongoing supply restrictions and escalating demand, and an increased focus on South Africa as a palladium producer, Southern Palladium is highly enthused about the potential of their South African palladium project. Southern Palladium has a very rare, large, shallow, advanced exploration opportunity in the heart of the eastern limb of the Bushveld complex. This area contains approximately 72% of the world's PGM resources. It is adjacent to other Tier 1 PGM and chrome operations, and it has compelling geology.
So what is it that makes this such a special project? Well, it's large. Now, again, there's a lot more drilling that needs to be done, but the inferred resource at 19 million ounces, and platinum plus palladium plus rhodium, and very attractive mixes of those metals. And there is an exploration target of another 15 to 34 million ounces. So it's not as if this is an exploration company where you need to go out and drill holes to find the target. The target is there, resources is already in existence. The grades are very attractive, over 7 grams for the UG2 reef. And most importantly, these ore bodies outcrop. Most of the outcropping ore bodies in South Africa have either been mined or they're under the control of the major companies. So it is a very unusual outcome.
As palladium emerges as a commodity to watch over the course of 2022, expect the investment community to closely track the fortunes of Southern Palladium once it hits the boards later this month.